How's it going, everybody? My name is Chase Teep and welcome to my channel. Today we've got another episode of my personal finance crash course where I cover subjects that I believe should be taught in college, high school, even middle school classrooms, but they just aren't. Our topic today is going to be Financial Minimalism 101. By the end of this episode, I want you guys to know exactly what financial minimalism is. It's a term you've seen probably all over the place on the internet and especially all over YouTube. I want you guys to know exactly what it means and how you can implement it in your life. I believe there are three core aspects of financial minimalism. And if you can master all three of them, I believe that you can call yourself a financial minimalist. So let's get into the video. All right, first things first, we are going to define financial minimalism. And the easiest way to do this is to talk about minimalism in general. Minimalism is the process of using less but finding more value in it. In general, people who practice minimalism try to live on as little as they possibly can, with as little stuff as they possibly can. And by extension, financial minimalism is the exact same thing but applied to your finances. Instead of trying to get rid of all the things that are around you and live with only a few items of your material possessions, financial minimalism is basically going to try to declutter everything that you have in your finances, get rid of the things that don't provide value to you, and only spend money on the things that are valuable to you. And that is the exact definition of financial minimalism that I would use myself. Trying to spend money on only things that are valuable to you and cutting out anything that you're spending money on currently that is not valuable and worth your money or your time. And that's my definition right there. Now, like I said, there are three core aspects that I believe really make up what a financial minimalist does every single day to practice this and really explore this concept. And I'm going to get into each of those three concepts below, starting with the first one, which is going to be intentionality. Now, what does that mean? Intentionality is just kind of a big word that really means focus and think about the things that you are spending money on. When it comes to financial minimalism, what we want to do is basically force yourself to think about every single dollar that you're spending and decide whether or not what you're spending that money on is worth your money. The easiest way, in my opinion, to actually do this is to apply a three-step process to every single purchase that you make. It's basically three questions, and depending on your answer to each of the three questions, you can decide whether or not you should buy this purchase, whether or not you should actually spend your money on this item. All right, so we're gonna have a diagram over here to my left that basically shows this exact three-step process. The first of those questions is going to be very simple and straightforward. Do you have enough money in your account to actually buy this item? This should obviously be the first question that you ask yourself before any purchase. If you're trying to buy a $70 pair of pants, but you only have $40 in your bank account, don't buy the pants. It's very straightforward. It sounds really simple and obvious when I say it here, but honestly, so many people don't listen to this advice. They don't ask themselves this question, and they end up going over their credit card limit or spending more money than they actually have, and that just costs them money in the future. And that is obviously what we are trying to avoid. A financial minimalist will not spend money on something that they don't have enough funds for. So the easiest way to do this is to ask yourself with every purchase, do I have enough money to make this purchase? If the answer is no, don't buy it. It's very straightforward. Do not buy that item. But if the answer is yes, you can then move on to the next question in the three-step process. The second question that you need to ask yourself before every purchase, after you've determined that you have enough money to buy it, is this: does this item provide value to your life? This might be the most important question out of them all because this really forces you to think about the things that you're buying. Is this worth it? Does this provide something in my life that I don't currently have? If the answer to this question is no, same as the first one, don't buy that item. But if the answer is yes, then we can move on to the third question. Honestly, the answer should only be yes if this item does provide something that you don't currently have. If you live in a house where every night when the sun goes down, you don't get any lights in your room, it would be worthwhile to go out and buy like a lamp for your house. However, we move on to the third question to decide whether or not you should actually purchase that lamp. It seems like a really dumb example, but it'll make more sense in a minute. The third question that you need to ask yourself, once you've decided that yes, you have enough money to actually buy this thing, and yes, this item will provide value to you, the next question that you need to ask is basically this: can something else provide you with more or greater value instead of this item? This is the killer question. This is the one that's going to make you think about every single purchase. Is there any way that I could spend the exact same amount of money but get something that provides more value to me? Maybe instead of buying this lamp, I should actually buy a Himalayan salt lamp, a different type of light, maybe just something else entirely, like buying a window for your room. That's the exact type of questioning that you need to ask yourself before every purchase. Because again, if the answer to this question is yes, there is something else that I can buy with this money that provides greater value, then you shouldn't buy this item. You should basically stop that right now and then look for something else that provides greater value to you. And again, this one's going to be difficult. This is really going to force you to think about every single purchase you make and do some research and decide what is best value for money. And that is exactly what a financial minimalist will do. They will only buy the one thing that provides the most value to their life based on the amount of money that they are spending. This is the thing that is going to take you from just spending money willy-nilly basically into a financial minimalist mindset. So if you answered yes to the first question, that you do have enough money to buy it, and you answered yes to the second question, that it does provide value to you, and then you finally arrive at this third question and decide, no, this is the best value that I can possibly get for my money, then you can buy that item. And I know it's crazy to actually think about applying that to every single purchase that you make. That sounds mind-blowingly dull and crazy to apply to every single thing that you buy in a month or a year or a week. But honestly, the more you do this, the more it'll become a habit, just something that you do in the back of your head with every purchase anyway. It doesn't require a whole lot of thought. It doesn't require a whole lot of really thinking at all. It's just something that is so straightforward and obvious to you that you'll know which purchases are worth it and which ones aren't. One way to help with this and actually start applying this in your life every day is really to think about how important your time is. This is something that is really common in minimalism, to focus on just how important every single hour of your time is. For every purchase that you made, think about how much time it took to make the money to buy that item. Let's go back to the $70 pair of pants that you're considering buying. Think about how long it takes you to work up for that $70. Maybe it takes like 2 or 3 or 4 hours to actually make enough money to buy those pants. And ask yourself this: would you be willing to work for an extra 4 hours just to buy those pants? And if you ask yourself that and you decide, wow, this really isn't worth my time or my money, then you know that it's something that you just shouldn't be buying. And in the future, look for cheaper alternatives or just different ways of getting that item. And that's the important part. Just always remember that your time is the most important factor in this whole thing. Buy things that are worth your time and you'll never have an issue with this. And that will probably help you save in the future and just avoid purchases that are useless or really not that valuable to you. All right, so that is the first aspect of financial minimalism. The second is going to be the decluttering stage. This is when you basically look at everything that you're currently spending money on and get rid of everything that isn't providing value to you. And this one needs to happen just as soon as you possibly can. The sooner that you cut the cord on any of these things, the better off you will be. Think about someone who declutters their house and gets rid of anything that they don't use anymore. Try to find the same thing in your finances. If you find that you're still paying for subscriptions to services that you never use, like you have a Hulu account but never watch Hulu, stop paying for Hulu. Like, get rid of that subscription as soon as you can. The same thing goes for like credit card fees. If you have an annual credit card fee on a credit card that you don't even use anymore, get rid of that credit card. If you have a car that you almost never use, it just sits in a parking spot for most of the year and that costs you a ton of money to even have that parking spot, much less the maintenance of the car, get rid of the car if you can. Just focus on finding things in your life that aren't providing value to you, that you're just wasting money on basically, and try to cut them out as quickly as you possibly can. And again, just think about this like minimalism in general. Try to think of if you had a room full of things that you don't use anymore, you would throw those things away. Same thing in your finances. Just get rid of the things that don't provide value to you and focus on buying things that do provide value to you through the intentionality stage of this video that I talked about earlier. Moving on to the third and final core aspect of what financial minimalism is, and it's going to be this. Keep a long-term focus on everything that you are spending money on or saving money for. Just keep that long-term goal in the back of your mind at all times. Once you've decluttered your financial environment and you're starting to buy things with intentionality, then you should really start to focus on what you're aiming for long-term. Maybe you're trying to have a certain amount of money saved at a certain age of your life, and every single day try to remember, I'm trying to save up this much money by the time that I turn 30 or 40 or 50 or whatever it may be. Just keep that long-term goal in the back of your mind, and that'll keep you motivated and keep you doing these things. Because honestly, financial minimalism is a long-term goal. People should be saving their money for something in the future. If you have nothing that you're saving your money for, it's going to probably be difficult for you to actually save money, because what incentive do you even have? So this long-term focus should really force you to think about why you're saving money, why you're living frugally, and what you're really aiming to get out of this frugal, saving, heavy lifestyle. And again, once you've decided on what that long-term goal is, just keep it in the back of your mind so that every day you remind yourself why you're saving a little bit of money here and there, and why you're spending less, and why you want to make more money. Whatever it is, just keep that long-term goal right in the back of your mind at all times. And in my opinion, once you've mastered those 3 core aspects, once you are intentionally buying things that are of value to you, you've decluttered your financial environment to get rid of all the things that aren't providing value to you, and you have this long-term focus, this long-term goal in the back of your mind, something that you're aiming to do in the future, that all of your financial decisions today are going to work towards, then you can call yourself a financial minimalist. Because at that point, you have cut down on everything that's not of value in your world and are focusing only on things that provide value to you. And that's minimalism at its finest. Mastering all 3 really does mean that you are now focusing on every single dollar that you're spending and deciding whether or not you're spending it on something that is worthwhile to you. And that is honestly financial minimalism right there. If you can apply all 3 of these things, you will start to see that you're going to save some money in the long term. And I do want to say this really quickly. I do think it's important to say that financial minimalism isn't something that is going to automatically just start saving you money the minute that you apply these things into your life. It's not something that you can just start doing and bam, you're just saving all kinds of money. This is something that the longer that you do it and the longer that you practice, the better it's going to be and the more you're going to see the benefits of in the future. Financial minimalism is a process. It's a fun process for some people like myself, who every single day we try to find ways to actually spend less and have more value in our lives and just be happier with less and less and less. It's a process that you can always improve at, which is, again, hopefully something that you find enjoyable because, again, this is something that the more that you practice, the better off you're going to be and the more benefits you're going to see. But with that, I hope you guys now know exactly what financial minimalism is and then also know how you can become one, how you can apply these 3 core aspects into your life to become a financial minimalist as soon as tomorrow. And if you find that helpful at all, then I have accomplished my goal for this video. But before you go, please turn that like button blue so that this video gets spread to more and more people and can help more and more people out. Don't forget to subscribe. I upload 3 times a week and you don't want to miss a single one of those videos. So make sure you hit that red subscribe button before you go. It'll be popping up on your screen right here. And with that, I hope you guys all have an amazing day and I will see you all again next time.